Said again, I am empowered to be fruitful and multiply. And it is not merely just talking about children, it's talking about ideas, it's talking about things that you might create out of your life. It could be music, it could be dance routines, the choreography, it could be sketches and schemes and organizations. It can be all of the creativity that comes out of your mind that God has first planted in your heart. But He has empowered you to be able to be fruitful and to multiply. It's not just to have one thing, and that's why the whole kingdom of God is built on a seed principle. Stop asking God for a harvest and ask Him for seed. Because He has given us a blessing to say, I'm going to give you the seed of an idea. And if I give you that seed, you're already blessed, which means you're empowered to be fruitful and to multiply. You're empowered to be fruitful and to multiply, so that what God gave you doesn't stay the same. You remember the man that took the talents that had been given to him and he went and hid it in the earth? Thought that it was going to be pleasing to God to say, hey, here's, he buried his talent. God didn't give you your talent to bury. God gave it your talent so that the blessing that you carry, you start multiplying it and becoming fruitful with it because you have been blessed. That's why Jacob, every place that he went, blessings followed him. That's why Joseph, everything that he put his hands to, it began to be fruitful and to multiply because his daddy had blessed him. If you ever get a blessing from God, whatever comes into your hand ought to be fruitful and multiply. You ought to be able to make more out of it. If somebody turns a responsibility over to you, you ought to make it more than it originally was. You ought to add something to it. You ought to do more than just add something to it. It ought to end up multiplying. It ought to get bigger.